Someone once blocked our connection, but now the path is clear, and I can finally feel you without hesitation. They stood between us for too long, yet here we are, closer than ever, as if time never separated us. Someone tried to keep us apart, but every attempt only made our bond stronger, and now nothing can stop us. The obstacle that separated us has faded, and I feel your presence filling the space once lost. Someone's interference once clouded our hearts, but now the sky of our connection is bright and endless. They tried to hold us back, but love is unstoppable, and now the distance that was forced is gone. Someone was in the middle of our story, but now the pages turn freely, and every word is ours. The barrier that once stood between us has vanished, leaving only clarity, warmth, and the truth of us. They thought they could divide us, yet the universe had other plans, and now our hearts are aligned. Someone blocked our path, but the shadow has disappeared, and the light of what we share shines stronger. Someone once tried to control where our hearts could go, but now the freedom to love is fully ours. The obstacle is gone, and I feel the unspoken closeness between us like it was never interrupted. Someone's interference lingered like a storm, but now the calm has returned, bringing you back to me. They tried to make us stumble, yet every challenge only brought our souls closer, and now nothing can separate us. Someone once stood in the way, but destiny never bends, and finally, the road is clear to you. The distance they created is gone, leaving only the closeness that was always meant to exist. Someone's presence once felt like a wall, but now I can see you, hear you, and feel you fully. They tried to divide us, but love is stronger than any interference, and now it flows freely between us. Someone blocked what was meant to bloom, yet now our connection thrives like nothing ever came in the way. The shadow that separated us has vanished, leaving the warmth of your presence to fill every empty space. Someone's interference delayed us, but now time has made everything clearer, and you are here again. They tried to stop our closeness, but nothing can stop what the heart has chosen, and here we are. Someone once stood in our way, but now the path is open, and I can finally reach for you. The obstacle that lingered between us is gone, and I feel the freedom to love you without fear. Someone tried to keep us apart, yet the bond we share was never theirs to break, and now it's ours. They cast a shadow over us, but the light of our connection has burned it away completely. Someone stood in the middle of what could have been, but now the space is ours, uninterrupted. The interference is gone, leaving only the truth that we belong together, unshaken by anything or anyone. Someone once blocked the way, yet every step we took brought us closer, and now nothing is in the way. They tried to dictate our story, but the universe had other plans, and now our chapter begins. Someone's presence once felt heavy like chains, but now everything is free, and I can finally feel you. The obstacle is gone, and the closeness we waited for is no longer delayed or hidden. Someone tried to separate what was meant to unite, yet the bond has only grown stronger with time. They once stood between us, but now the distance has disappeared, leaving only the intimacy of our hearts. Someone's interference has faded, and the clarity of our connection fills every space that was once empty. They tried to make us stumble, but love doesn't falter, and now the path is fully ours. Someone once blocked our story, yet every pause led us to this moment where nothing stands between us. The shadow of someone's interference has vanished, leaving only the warmth of you in my life. They tried to control the closeness we share, but it was never theirs to command, and now it's ours. Someone stood between us for too long, but the distance has ended, and our hearts are finally aligned. The obstacle that delayed us is gone, and now I can feel your presence as if nothing ever separated us. Someone's interference lingered, but love waited patiently, and now the path to you is completely clear. They tried to block what was meant to flourish, yet now our connection grows stronger than ever. Someone once made our story feel impossible, but now the impossible has dissolved, leaving only us. The barrier that separated our hearts has vanished, and I finally feel the closeness I've been longing for. Someone tried to interfere, yet love found its way, and now the path between us is free. They stood in the middle of what should have been, but now the journey to you is unhindered. Someone's presence once felt like an obstacle, but the space between us has cleared, leaving only warmth. The interference that kept us apart has ended, and now I can embrace you without hesitation or fear. Someone once blocked the path between us, but now the road is clear, and I finally feel you close again. The obstacle that kept us apart has vanished, and I can finally breathe in your presence without hesitation. They tried to keep us apart, but nothing is stronger than what we share, and the distance has finally disappeared. Someone stood between us, but their shadow has faded, leaving room for what's always meant to be. For a long time, we were separated by walls others built, but now I see you without obstruction. The one who tried to come between us has lost their power, and all that remains is you and I. our connection was paused, interrupted by someone else's interference. But now the universe has realigned us. The barrier that kept our hearts distant is gone, and I feel your presence closer than ever. They thought they could stop us, but love always finds a way, and now the path is open. Someone was standing in the middle of our story, but their chapter has ended, and ours continues. We were once separated by interference, but the obstacle has vanished, leaving only the clarity of us. Someone tried to dim what we have, but their shadow can't reach the light of our connection. The road was blocked, the distance frustrating, but now the universe has cleared the way for you and me. Someone's presence once lingered like a wall, but it's gone now, and I can finally reach for you. We were apart because someone tried to control our fate, but fate is ours, and they are powerless now. Someone's interference delayed our journey, but now the path is clear, and every moment feels meant to be. They stood in the way of our closeness, but love is patient, and finally, patience has won. Someone tried to make us stumble, but their influence has vanished, leaving only the bond that never breaks. The distance they created is gone, and I feel your energy surrounding me as if nothing ever separated us. Someone's presence was a shadow over our hearts, but now the light of us shines brighter than ever. What once stood between us is no longer here, and I realize how strong our connection truly is. They thought they could come between us, but the universe had other plans, and here we are, together. Someone blocked our story, but the page has turned, and our chapter begins now, unbroken and free. The walls someone built around us have crumbled, leaving only the freedom to love and feel fully. For so long, someone's interference clouded everything, but now the air between us feels clear and full of possibility. They were an obstacle, nothing more, and now I see that we were always stronger than anyone who tried to stop us. Someone stood between us, but the bond we share doesn't recognize barriers, and it has finally won. The interference that tried to hold us apart is gone, and I can finally embrace the reality of you. Someone tried to divide our worlds, but our connection wasn't theirs to break, and now it's unshakable. They blocked our path, yet love found a way, and the road to us is finally free. Someone's presence once felt like a chain around our story, but it has dissolved, leaving only freedom. For years, distance and interference tried to define us, but now only you define my heart. The shadow of someone standing between us has disappeared, leaving light and clarity in its place. Someone tried to dictate our fate, but love isn't theirs to control. And now I see that clearly. They were an obstacle, yet every challenge brought us closer, and now there's nothing left to block us. Someone's interference tried to hold us back, but time and persistence have cleared the path to you. The walls someone built between us have fallen, and I can finally feel the closeness we deserve. Someone stood in the way, but now the only thing between us is the depth of our own hearts. They tried to separate us, yet the bond we share was always stronger than anything in their control. Someone's presence once loomed like a shadow, but now only the brightness of us remains. The obstacle is gone, and I can finally love you openly, without hesitation or interference. Someone tried to block the love that was meant to be, yet love never needed permission. They stood between us, yet nothing can hold back what is meant to exist. And now it thrives. Someone's interference delayed us, but the connection we share waited patiently, and now it's ours fully. The distance created by someone else has vanished, and I feel you in every corner of my being. Someone once cast a shadow over us, but the sun of our connection has burned it away. They tried to disrupt us, but the bond we have cannot be disrupted. It only grows stronger. Someone was a hurdle, a temporary pause, but now the race is ours to run together freely. The obstacle is gone, and what remains is the unshakable truth of us being meant for each other. Someone's presence once blocked the flow of our hearts, but now it's like the tide has returned.